All right, welcome to I Just Want to Talk, because I just want to talk. And today, I just want to talk about
Everybody get up, it's time to Space Jam.
Space Jam 2, Electric Boogaloo. No, Space Jam, if you all remember that movie from the 90s, it had Michael Jordan in it. Don't know if you've heard of him, kind of a big deal. I love that movie. I think Space Jam is awesome. It's not a good movie. I rewatched it again, it was a couple of years ago, and I remember thinking, hasn't really aged well. It looks tacky. Jordan can't act at all. Then again, I don't expect him to act. He's a basketball player. He shouldn't have to do that much. But, you know, as a kid, I remember thinking the movie was amazing. And it probably was one of the reasons I got into basketball. One of the reasons, like, I'm wearing a Detroit Bad Boys sweater now. And I was watching the NBA draft all day today, you know. So that probably is a contributing factor. And it's heaps of fun. It's not good, but it's heaps of fun. So when I see this new one, I'm kind of disappointed by the fact that it's just worse, and it's significantly worse for so many reasons. And I just look at it and go, what was the point? And to me, you know, like, for those of you who follow basketball, you might be aware of the fact that, you know, LeBron James, who's the lead star of Space Jam 2, and is also probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest basketball player of all time. If you want to make that debate, I'd completely understand. I think it's Jordan, but that's a topic for another video. You know, you see him in front of the camera here in Space Jam, and I just question why the decision was made to make this movie.
What's going on here?
There's just nothing interesting in it. And it's not like the same kind of interesting in terms of, you know, when I watched the original Space Jam, and yeah, I'm probably watching it with rose-colored glasses. I'm probably watching it from the point of, oh, I really like Jordan. I watched this movie as a kid. That's why I enjoy it so much. But I look at this and I can't, as a kid, picture why I would enjoy this movie. You know, if I put myself in the shoes of a child, I can't see what would interest me about this movie. You know, but it's very different. So if you're remembering the original Space Jam, for those of you who do, if not, I'd recommend watching it again, because why not? It's fun. You know, no one expects Jordan to do anything in terms of acting. Like, he rarely has to carry scenes. He rarely has to sort of be the main vocal point. It's all about the Looney Tunes, and Jordan is just a support act, right? And the story takes place in the fact that you've got Jordan, who's just retired from basketball, and he's come back when they made the movie. But for those of you who don't know, in Jordan's career, he retired from basketball after his father died. Basically, he goes to play baseball, and the story of Space Jam is the fact that, we need him to come out of retirement for basketball because there's these aliens that want to, like, turn Earth into an amusement park or something like that. And the Looney Tunes are like, oh, we'll save the planet, but we'll play a basketball game for the future of the planet or whatever, right? And the Looney Tunes recruit Jordan, and they go on to win, and that reignites Jordan's love for basketball, and he returns to the game, and the world is back to normal in many ways, right? Cool story. All the time it makes fun of the fact that Jordan was a terrible baseball player, and, like, what are you doing? And, like, they made fun of the fact that he was rusty at basketball. He's very much the butt of the joke in many scenes.
Yeah, but I'm a baseball player now.
Right. And I'm a Shakespearean actor.
And then on top of that, you've got Bill Murray, who's my uncle, obviously. Right? He is so funny in that movie. You got the dude who plays Newman from Seinfeld, and all of them just look like they're having fun. It's not good. You know, it's fine. But no one's looking there going, oh, I don't really care. Right? Everyone seems to be having fun. I cut to this movie, and no one looks like they're having fun. So to put it in perspective, the story of Space Jam 2, Electric Boogaloo, compared to the first one, is that LeBron has been, like, really harshly coached as a kid, and now he's doing the same thing to his son. But his son doesn't want to be a basketball player. His son wants to be a video game, you know, engineer, whatever, technician, whatever, designer, developer, whatever the word is, right? Real, you know, keeping up with the kids. Kids don't want to play sports anymore. They want to make video games, right? And LeBron doesn't understand that. So, like, you know, why can't LeBron relate to his son? And the wife's like, you know, oh, LeBron, you got to be nice to your kids. And they make LeBron such a jerk at the beginning of the movie. He's so unlikable for so many reasons.
This is a fictional version of myself, but it's also kind of who I am as well. What works so well with the character is I was able to implement a lot of things that I actually do when the cameras are not on.
He can't act. He's so mean to his kids for, like, no reason. He doesn't come across like an empathetic dad. He comes across like a jerk. And there isn't enough time for you to go, oh, it's because that's how he was raised. It's like one scene from a coach at the beginning saying, you can't play video games, son. You've got to, you got to play basketball. And he's like, yeah, you're right. And now, because of that, all of a sudden, he's like, the really mean dad. Even though we've seen LeBron with his kids in real life, for those of you who follow, Bronny is like, I don't know if it's his firstborn or whatever, and he looks like a really good basketball player. He'll probably get drafted into the NBA in a few years. And we've seen him be a really great dad. And it's like, all of a sudden, oh, actually, no, he's a really bad dad to these other kids that you know aren't actually his kids. Anyway, Warner Brothers, for some reason, in this weird algorithm played by Don Cheadle, right, who gives a terrible performance. He could not care at all. I'm sure he showed up and said, I don't want the script. If that script isn't just a check, I'm not looking at it. Right? He gives just so boring. He just could not care less. And even LeBron looks like he can't care less. But I can't tell if that's just because he can't act or because he just also doesn't care. And he said, if that script isn't just a big check, I don't want it. And if this doesn't help people finally realize I'm better than Jordan, because I also have a Space Jam movie, then I don't want to be a part of it. All right? They look terrible, but they go to Warner Brothers Studios, led by Don Cheadle, who's like this AI who I don't even get his motivations, really. If I look back at it now, and I watched this movie a few days ago, I still can't remember the villain's motivations. I think I forgot them during the movie. That's how boring it was. All right? Like, he takes Jordan, it's not Jordan, see, I'm focusing on the wrong guy. He takes LeBron, right, to the studio, like he gets recruited, and they like propose to him, hey, we can animate you and put you in all these movies. And honestly, this is where a major problem with the film starts. It just becomes a big, hey, do you remember this Warner Brothers property? Do you remember this? Hey, do you guys know that Warner Brothers does Batman? What? Did you guys know that Warner Brothers does Harry Potter, dude? Oh, you guys love Harry Potter, right? Like, the last Harry Potter movies have been pretty bad, and the last good one that you can remember was from 2012, which is 9 years ago. Right? So, it just becomes a bit, yep. And there's even a reference to, there's a Game of Thrones thing. It's like, we can put LeBron in Game of Thrones, because his nickname's the King, right? We can put him on the throne. No one cares about Game of Thrones anymore. A, it's been years. B, worst last season of television ever. Also another topic. Anyway, it just becomes this whole big thing of look at these old properties, and they do it throughout the whole movie.
Winter, I say, winter is coming.
LeBron has to recruit a team of basketball players to save himself from this big AI that kidnaps him and his son into the digital world like it's Digimon, right? And they go in there, and it's like, oh, if you want your son's respect, or you know, your dad's respect as well, whatever, you have to play each other in a basketball game, and if you don't win, again, I don't remember the motivations. It's like the world will end or something. I don't know. I'll start Y2K. I don't know what it is. Okay, I can't remember. Right, but he has to recruit this basketball team, and the AI works with the son, and like the story is really just a father versus son story, and it's about LeBron learning to respect his son. Oh, basketball's not everything. You can also play video games, dude. I love and respect you now, son. And that's the movie. And the first bit is them recruiting, like LeBron recruiting basketball players with the Looney Tunes. And that's the only good bit of the movie, because LeBron doesn't have to do anything. Bugs Bunny does. And Bugs Bunny's funny. Now, I fully will admit that. I laughed at Bugs Bunny. He's fun. When he is driving the movie, which is not very much, it was fun.
Get some butts in these seats.
How big are these butts?
And that's when I raised it up a slight rating. But the rest of it, boring. They have a couple of NBA players and WNBA players, which is cool. You know, I can't remember any of them except Lillard and Klay Thompson. I can't remember the others. Because again, they did nothing with them. Remember how the Monstars in the first one, like, were interesting? Because, you know, they were all animated to look like they were, like, players, but just monster versions. They kind of did that in this, but took it to the extreme, so they were almost unrecognizable. Like, you could recognize the Monstars. Like, there was the little one that was Muggsy Bogues. There was the big lanky one that was Christian Laettner. The fat one was Charles Barkley, obviously.
Wait, y'all made me that was you. Wait, y'all made me a fat pound guy?
And then the other two, who I can't remember. Again, it's been a while. I think Larry Johnson, maybe? Anyway, you can Google that in your own time. Right? They become uninteresting. The basketball game is uninteresting because you know what they did that really annoyed me? The whole movie's like, they animate everything in what looks like 2D. Pretty much. Like, it's that similar hand-drawn Looney Tunes style. And then for the big basketball game, it's like the main villain clicks a button and everyone becomes like 3D. And it just ruined Bugs Bunny and Lola Bunny. I mean, they ruined Lola Bunny anyway. Also won't get into that. Right. They just looked terrible compared to the original Space Jam. And also no Bill Murray. So that's another big reason. But it's such a forgettable plot and such a waste of time. And you'd be like, Jan, then why are you standing here talking about it? Because if I don't talk about it, I won't get it out of my system. All right, and then you also won't know what to avoid. You can save your own time and not watch Space Jam 2 Reloaded or Space Jam 2 Basketball 2 Bouncy, as the other title goes. What's another pun? Actually, they said this one in the movie. They said, how about LeBron James in the Chamber of Secrets? Honestly, like, someone directed that movie. Someone wrote and directed this and went, LeBron James in the Chamber of Secrets. That movie came out in like 2004, didn't it? The book came out in like 2002. Like, that's crazy. I'm sorry, love Harry Potter. Most of those kids who are watching this movie, well, I'm sure a lot of them are like, what? Anyway, right. The weirdest part of the movie also to me was when, because again, it was just hey, look at all these properties we have. Like, during them looking for basketball players, they go to like the Superman, Batman world, like Metropolis and Gotham, and so animated, and they go to, I think, the stop at Harry Potter world, and LeBron is a Hufflepuff. I can't remember the others. There got a few others. And then at the end, like in the big bad villain, the basketball, that you're there for, which is like basically NBA Jam. They made it like it was a video game. All the crowd is just like Warner Brothers properties. Space Jam didn't do that, right? Space Jam just ran with it, right? They just had the Looney Tunes cover the spread. They looked after the movie, and Jordan was just taking along for the ride. Bill Murray was there being real funny, right? And that was it. And it had a great ending, and the basketball was fun, and the Monstars were fun. And then it has a really cool ending of like, hey, Jordan's back playing basketball. And that's the story you didn't know, that when Jordan retired, and then the reason he came back is because he fought the Monstars and saved the world. And this one's like, hey, you know that guy who's a really good basketball player? We're going to spend most of the movie either making him a real jerk or explaining how he's the best thing ever. Like, to finish on this, to explain really why the movie's bad, when we are introduced to the villain, Don Cheadle was this AI dude who wants to, again, I don't know. He's looking at LeBron. It's like social media stuff and like his basketball highlights. And he talks for like a minute to his other AI friend, this little robot dude, saying, I need King James. He's like the greatest thing ever. Amazing athlete. He says how many followers he's got on Instagram. Right? Like, I need the king, dude. I need him. It's like, all right, we get it. Obviously, LeBron wrote this bit of the script because it's just, we're going to spend the next minute explaining why LeBron James is really awesome and deserves a Space Jam movie, just like Jordan does. And if you don't agree with us after that, you are a bad person. And that's it. How do I rate this movie? Originally, when I was watching it, I was like, that's probably 2. But I can't remember any of it, other than the Rick and Morty bit, which I won't spoil. That part was funny. That was it. So, probably 1.5 stars. Don't bother. I got to watch it for free. Not illegally. Don't question that. It was actually thanks to ExpressVPN, who is not the sponsor of this video, but we can pretend they are. 1.5 stars. Don't waste your time. Definitely do not waste your money. If you want to watch a movie that badly, go and watch Space Jam, the original. And then that'll do. That's it. All right. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that rubbish. That's what I wanted to talk about.
What's the matter, Bill?
Larry, that could have been me.
We get off that kick. It's over. It's done with it. You can't play.
Okay. Let's go, Bulls!